The second portion in the book of Genesis starts with the introduction of Noah, a righteous man who, quote, walked with God, end quote, and was told to build a wooden ark, a teva, because, quote, the earth was filled with violence and God wanted to destroy it and all the living things upon it, end quote. The question asked in reading this is, why did God select a flood as the way to destroy his creation? And why was Noach told to build an ark in order to survive the flood rather than a boat that could sail the waters? And what did that ark look like? How did the earth appear when all but the occupants of the ark had perished? The water had receded and the ark come to rest among the mountains of Ararat. If you were an artist, how would you imagine the ark and all of this? The artist Avner Moriah visual interpretation of the biblical text lends a certain perspective regarding the above-mentioned questions. The image on the right depicts the ark as a unique three-dimensional structure resting miraculously on the very top of a mountain. It is obvious that this ark could not have been stirred like a boat, and that its passage through the water had been totally dependent on God's will. The painting shows the ark with several windows, not mentioned in the text. Those windows framing the faces of Noah and his family, suggesting their eagerness to look outside the vessel that was imprisoned and save them, to see the awesome, desolate surroundings. The blue, purple, and green colors used to image the mountains seem unrealistic and dreamlike. Clearly, the artist related to the ark metaphorically, for the picture does not tell the story from an historical perspective. Rather, it describes the episode symbolically, showing the earth after the flood had washed away all the evil, and Noah, who had faithfully followed God's command, facing the enormous task of building a renewed, cleaner world. The image on the left visualizes the story of the Tower of Babel found in the same Torah portion. Upon reading the story, one wonders what the actual sin of the people might have been that it was the cause of such divine anger. What was wrong with their desire to, quote, build as us a city and a tower with its top in heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth, end quote. Moriah portrayed the people of Babel as figurines modeled in the style of ancient Near East, using a neoteric new cement mixer to make the bricks to build a tower that resembles a novel structure with many antennas. By combining modern motifs and ancient imagery, the artist seems to emphasize the metaphorical significance of the story and to underscore its relevance to contemporary society. Thus, we can discern a connection between these juxtaposed scenes. We are aware that after the flood, God commanded Noah and his family to, quote, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth, end quote. The builders of the Tower of Babel seem not to have learned the message of the disaster of the flood. In their efforts to rebuild what was destroyed, they used their talents and abilities not to build a meaningful new universe with godly principles and ideals, but a society filled with people that would only empower themselves and, quote, make their name, end quote, without any concern for the world around them. So God, quote, scattered them abroad from tents upon the face of all the earth, end quote. The colors used to paint the skies in these two portrayals suggest the difference in symbolism between the two scenarios. In the picture of Noah's Ark, at the end of the flood, the sky is rendered in green and yellow, colors that seem to give an effect of tranquility and the hope of a new world, whereas the red and orange sky above the Tower of Babel suggests storms and turbulence, thus mirroring defiance of God's will and designs. Shavua Tov from Schechter.